Welcome back to the Tara Palmeri Show. You've probably heard a lot about Trump's meme coin, but like me, you're still trying to wrap your head around it. Why would anyone bet on a meme coin? A coin inspired by a meme, a joke that's considered risky and volatile, especially when you know that 80% of it is owned by two Trump entities. Imagine that Trump's crypto venture is a glitzy casino, like the ones he's had in the past. He owns the house. Buyers of the Trump coin are like gamblers stepping into his casino. They know the game is risky, but they're hoping they'll hit it big, outsmarting the crowd and cashing out before the house collects. As the house, Trump rakes in profits through transaction fees, reportedly pocketing $320 million already. Not only is it a rigged bet in Trump's favor, but Trump is also a stakeholder in an entity where he acts as the chief regulator. He can literally put his thumb on the scale at any time. But even the slickest casino bosses can crap out. Trump's past ventures, like his actual casinos, show that sometimes the house goes bust. Imagine if Trump's biggest investors, those high rollers who bet big on Trump coin, got wise and gathered that it was time to flip the table. What if these heavy hitters decided it was time to pull the rug out? They could tank the coin's value and leave Trump holding a worthless hand. As my next guest illustrates, that actually happened last week at Trump's crypto dinner.
Everyone who attended the dinner had some way to make money off of this thing. In fact, the source I talked to shorted the stock in order to enter the contest. He decided to throw, I can't say exactly how much money he threw in, but he decided to take a giant pool of money he had, use half of it to buy Trump coin, and then use the other half in a separate wallet to short Trump coin, aka bet that Trump coin's price would fall.
That's right. According to senior Verge reporter Tina Nguyen, a number of attendees at Trump's big crypto dinner last week managed to do the big short on Trump's meme coin. They bought up his coins to win a seat at a private dinner with the president, but by the time their surf and turf was served at the Trump National Golf Course, many of them were bragging about how they had already dumped the stock.
People love loopholes in crypto. People are like schemy little rascals in crypto.
You're saying they're scammers. Trying to out-scam Trump, essentially. Needless to say, it was a hot topic of conversation. So much of the president's wealth is tied up in this meme coin. He has millions, if not billions, at stake. So last month, when it was clear that the stock was slumping by a whopping 88%, they decided to create a competition to boost sales. To encourage people to become top investors in the coin, to drive up the value, they decided to offer a private dinner with the president to the top 220 investors. The top 4 investors won $100,000 crypto-themed and Trump-branded watches. While it worked, the Trump meme rose by more than 40%. I know what you're thinking. This is like next-level grift. It's not even as slimy as a massive political donation that gets you a seat at a table next to a politician. I mean, we know how this works in America. For $1 million, you can sit next to the President of the United States. This is even worse. This is a way for the President of the United States to line his pockets in a way where there's no disclosure. We don't even know who's doing it because it's through a blockchain. It's all secretive. The worst part about it, according to Bloomberg, is that most of these attendees were foreigners, and they're not allowed to make political donations for access to politicians. So we don't know who from foreign countries is paying the President of the United States. As White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, this money is going to a blind trust managed by his children. How can a trust be blind if it's being managed by his children? That would take an independent trustee to actually be a blind trust, but I think we know where this is really going. But these crypto bros, they know meme coins. They know they're risky bets that are tied to hype. They're not a stable currency. And they're, of course, wary that they're going to get played by the President of the United States. But it sounds like they may have played him, according to Tina, who's at the Bitcoin conference in Vegas with all the reporting and gossip on the ground. Tina Nguyen, live from the Bitcoin conference in Vegas. So pleased to have you on the show. Tina and I are former colleagues at Puck. She's a senior reporter at The Verge and author of the MAGA Diaries. Definitely go out and read it. It's a story of how she managed to escape what sounded like a cult the way you wrote about it. But you're in the center of it all because J.D. Vance just spoke at the conference. Obviously, President Trump spoke last year. I want all of the nitty gritty details, everyone who showed up, and what the vibe has been like. But first, I'm still digesting this piece that you wrote for The Verge. It is incredible. You interviewed an anonymous attendee of the crypto dinner that President Trump held last week. And what did this attendee tell you was the conversation in the room at the time?
Everyone who attended the dinner had some way to make money off of this thing. In fact, the source I talked to shorted the stock in order to enter the contest. He decided to throw, I can't say exactly how much money he threw in, but he decided to take a giant pool of money he had, use half of it to buy Trump coin, and then use the other half in a separate wallet to short Trump coin, aka bet that Trump coin's price would fall. And so whenever the price of Trump rose, his short wallet kind of started following. But when the price of Trump fell, as it inevitably would, and as everyone thought it would, his short position started going up. So he just kind of remained even the entire time of this contest, just because he had this equilibrium going on. And when he got there, apparently a ton of people were like, yeah, we did the same hedge trade too, including one of the guys who won the like $100,000 watch.
Oh my God, that's amazing. This $100,000 watch too, all of it is incredibly grifty. So Tina, I'm getting into this piece, and by the way, it is delicious. I am reading it on The Verge, and it says, quote, yes, he did the big short, except with Donald Trump's meme coin. So basically they had decided that they don't actually think this is a good investment, and they wanted to make sure that they wouldn't actually have any risk in a coin that is essentially incredibly risky. And tell me, like, what does this even mean? Like, meme coins aren't even really meant, they don't even mean anything. So the whole point was just to go to dinner and then dump it all along?
The entire point was to see what you could do with this meme coin. Like, what I've been discovering as I've learned more about the crypto space, I come from a political reporting background, just like you. I think we worked together at Puck. That was fun. Uh, but what I've learned about crypto as someone who's going into it as a political journalist is it is very predictable what people want to do with the meme coins they create. There's this thing called dumping, and that's when people who create a meme coin drive up the price artificially for some reason or another. All of these retail investors, smaller investors buy into it off of the hype. And then when the price is as high as it possibly can, the people who made the coin just sell it and they make all the money, but the price drops instantaneously. And it doesn't really matter that this is a coin that's backed by Donald Trump's affiliates and has the buy-in of his president itself. It's still a meme coin and it still operates the way that all meme coins do. So if you're an enthusiastic crypto trader, you see this coin and you're like, hey, I could get a free dinner out of this. Let me just throw in a couple of money as an investment, play around with it, and eventually get my money back. Then, like, it's going to be easy to do it just as long as you have the appetite to gamble a little bit.
Okay, got it. And so do you think that after this dinner, Trump's meme coin has less value? Do you think he's ultimately lost money after using a contest to essentially drive up the value of the meme coin because everybody else was sort of in on it and realized, like, we're going to short this thing anyway once we get what we want?
When Trump coin launched, there is a period in which the people who created the coin hold the coin, and they don't put all of it on the market at once. So Trump and his affiliates have 80% of the coin just locked up somewhere. The rest of the people who suddenly have the chance to buy the coin will buy the coin. And over the next like specific period of time, more of these tranches will unlock. So if you're a Trump affiliate, you hold all this coin, but it has no value until you put it on the market. Then you want to keep the value as high as you possibly can. You want to keep that hype machine real up. You want that number to go up. And the way that you do that is by ginning up excitement for it. In this case, it's if you buy this coin and the price of it goes up, you get to have dinner with the president. Isn't that awesome? And even if people are buying the coin with the intention to short it, it does artificially drive the price up. And the moment that Trump's people can sell their tranches, they want that number to be high. So they could make money. It's just not in the straightforward way that I would say a normal person who's not like deep in this world understands.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying. So like the value is going to rise or drop, but isn't the house like the casino always winning in this case? Like it doesn't matter what happens.
If you say that the house is the people who run Trump coin, possibly. Uh, Ultimately, crypto is sort of imaginary and based on what value people decide to give it. This is a technology that exists on a blockchain in some computers somewhere. So if it loses money, it's not going to be a total wash. If it makes a lot of money, then oh my God, it makes a lot of money. Isn't that great for our beloved president? Uh, so yeah, like people can literally just create meme coins in their basement. Lots of meme coins are created in basement. So uh, yeah, I don't really think there's too much to lose, but a lot to gain.
Was this like a sort of bribe, quid quo pro, like patronage, and now it's just useless now that they've gotten what they wanted, meeting the president?
I don't know if quid pro quo is like the most straightforward way to put it. It's not like I bought this coin, exchanged money, now it's in your pockets. It's I gave your coin artificial value. Now it's worth a lot more because I bought a lot of it. And that's a little trickier to walk around. I don't really know if there are any laws that address pumping and dumping. There might be, but the crypto regulatory space is so like no one knows what to do here. No one knows what's going on. Congress right now is in the middle of trying to pass a stablecoin bill, and stablecoins are like the most basic, easy to understand forms of crypto. It's like, here's a coin, it's worth $1. It will always be worth $1, but you can do stuff with it in crypto. Uh,
80% of the coin, though, is controlled by like affiliates of Trump organization, right?
mhm,
So
yeah.
if you were trying to bribe the president legally, isn't this like a loophole that allows you to donate to the president without, speculation or regulation?
Um, I don't know if I can really speak to that deep level, but I could probably say pretty comfortably this if you are buying a coin, inflating its value, and subsequently often this separate 80% wallet that no one can buy or sell, it's still worth a lot more, then that is definitely a net benefit. But it's not worth anything until these guys can start selling it. And there's like a very strict timeline in which they can start doing it. But that's why they timed all these dinners at the specific times that they did. When they announced the dinner, it was because this price unlock was supposed to happen and like a percentage of those coins were supposed to go on the market. So they were like, oh, we got to get this price back up. It used to be sky high during Trump's when it first launched, but now the price has crashed. How do we generate hype? Oh my God, guys, if you buy a lot of this coin, you could go to the dinner. Uh, it's funny, there is a second incentive after the contest ended and the top 220 winners were locked in, where they're like, we see that a lot of you are dumping this coin right now and selling it. That doesn't do well for our price. So if you hold the coin for as long as you possibly can, you do not sell your coins, you have the same amount in your wallet during the dinner as you did when you uh, won the contest. You get this NFT. It's the Diamond Hands NFT. Oh my God, it's so rare. It's so valuable. Uh, I don't know who wanted this NFT or whether they invested in it, but hilariously, my source, uh, again, thinking like a gambler here. What I should have done was like sell 90% of my coin right before the deadline, had 10% of my wallet in there, sell that coin, wait for the coin to be at a much lower price, and then buy that 10% back so I could technically win this NFT. People love loopholes in crypto. People are like schemy little rascals in crypto.
You're saying they're scammers trying to out scam Trump, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that's fair. Um Although I have the feeling the crypto people are going to be really mad if I outright call them scammers.
I said it. It's
But
fine.
there's yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is a
But I
pretty
mean,
shady. coin, right? It's like a meme coin. It's not based on anything at all.
Right. Meme coins just kind of get created when people decide, hey, I'd like to create a coin. The most famous one I think everyone knows is Dogecoin. And that intrinsically had no value. You just kind of bought it and thought it was funny to buy it, but also hoped that a lot of other people would buy it. And stocks actually, meme coin stocks actually rise more. The value of the meme coins and all crypto, but meme coins especially, are tied to the hype that's bought into it. So, for instance, when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live in 2022 or 2023, everyone was looking to him to be like, "Will you mention Dogecoin? Because if you mention Dogecoin on SNL, the price is going to go up."
Yeah.
Why is it going to go up? Because Elon said he liked it. And like all he had to do was go on SNL, say Dogecoin to the moon, and the value of Dogecoin went up.
And so far since this coin, this meme Trump coin was launched this year, it has generated more than $320 million in fees for its creators. That's according to blockchain analysis from
Yes.
firm Chain Analysis. And so, like, basically, what you're
Oh
saying is,
yeah. No, that's also I forgot to mention, but that is also a way that the Trump affiliates do make money, which is uh, every transaction you make of uh, Trump coin, you do have to pay the Trump affiliates and whatever platform you used it on to make that exchange.
that's
But
40% of his wealth, by the way. President Trump's
yeah,
wealth. That's a
yeah,
lot. That's more
exactly.
than he was making in real estate. Come on.
Mm,
Not more, but consider the fact that he had spent this entire career in real estate and 40% of his wealth after all that time is in something he built 5 months ago or 6 months
yeah.
ago.
So yeah, that's also plays into why it is that you need hype in order to keep a meme coin up. So even if the stock isn't like actually, even if the value of the coin isn't high, if people are still trading the coin and you have to pay a certain amount of money to the Trump affiliates to trade the coin, that's still money.
Yeah, I just
Some
think that these
dollars is
people
better than no dollars.
was the vibe like, okay, now that we've been to the dinner, we've met Trump, it doesn't really have the same value anymore.
No, not really. It only has value if the Trump people give it a value that people would like to buy in for. Uh, Literally at the my source said that when he was at the dinner, he was going to keep an like, he was going to start listening for information that implied that there would be a reason for Trump coin to be more valuable. And he was like, if something drops about Trump coin, if something drops on any coin, even Bitcoin, I will literally put a trade in on the spot because I will be the first mover on this. Uh, and Apparently, like what I've also learned recently is that being the first to something in crypto is so important. You could literally make or lose millions of dollars if you don't know within a split second that something has happened in this space. Actual one thing that he did bring up that I think is worth further explanation is that he met a lot of people at this dinner who had known in advance that Trump coin was going to be a real thing. And they'd known that Trump was building something. They knew it was going to be a real coin. They knew that it was not going to be a shit coin, which is when a meme coin is deliberately built to be shit. So
This is
when
better
Trump
than
announced,
shit.
yeah, exactly. This can get you access to the president. And when Trump announced that Trump coin was going to happen on Truth Social, there was a full hour or so where the average reader of Truth Social did not know whether he got hacked or not, or whether this was a real announcement. But the people who did know that this was going to be a real coin just started buying up a lot of stock. And once they did, and once everyone was like, "Oh, this is real," and they caught on, these guys had a much cheaper supply of Trump coin. And I
Okay,
think
so
in the
you're
first week, at the first week, it's got up to like $75 a coin.
Oh wow. Okay, so you're at
Yeah.
this conference right now in Vegas. Like what are they waiting on hearing like that will make them feel like buy 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 right now or sell or like what's the vibe? Like what does everybody want to hear at this conference?
So the Bitcoin conference is explicitly about Bitcoin. Like there are chances for you to talk about other cryptos. Gemini was there. These are the Winklevoss twins, and I believe their coin's called Ethereum. No, they bought
Oh
Ethereum.
yeah,
Uh,
what are the Winklevi up to right now?
the Winklevi are really. adoring President Trump. They're saying, thank you, Mr. President. You know as well as I do, the moment that someone says thank you, Mr. President, over and over in this administration, like they are ride or die for Trump because they have to be, and you just can see that.
Okay.
But they were on stage with David Sachs, who is the crypto czar, former VC, and he was on stage going like, "Hey, we should try to convince Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick to cut their budgets and use their budgets to buy Bitcoin and fuel our strategic Bitcoin reserve. Wouldn't you guys really like that? Clap your hands if you want Lutnick and Bessent to cut their budgets so we can buy more Bitcoin."
So is it like, do you think it was a good time for Trump media to announce it's trying to get a $2.5 billion investment in Bitcoin?
Yeah, I there's never really a bad investment in Bitcoin. And this is something I have learned, unfortunately, over the past 10 to 12 years from when people were telling me to buy Bitcoin in college to like now, I guess. I remember like maybe around like the mid 2010s when Bitcoin was going at like $8,000 a coin. And I was like, oh my God, my friends bought this for like 10 cents back in the day. If I did, I would totally sell now because there's no way that price will ever go up.
Yeah,
And
I was
now
offered
it's at a
six
hundred.
Bitcoin when I was in my late 20s, and I was in like this weird place in Serbia on a story, and I was like, I can't take it because I'm working on a story, and it was worth nothing. Then I should have should have taken it, but I thought it was not ethical. Okay, so everyone's waiting on JD Vance and his speech. Like, how was it received? What did he say?
Um, he, I believe he said that he actually owns some Bitcoin. I'm not surprised that he does. He was received very warmly by attendees, probably not as diehard and fan driven as Donald Trump was received last year. But I spoke to a crypto podcaster for this article I'm doing, and he said, like, yeah, it's great that Trump was here last year, but the more important thing is that this year there are lawmakers here, there's like people from the administration here. It's far more valuable in our space to get FaceTime with um, Cynthia Lummis and Marsha Blackburn and Vivek and Bo Hines than it is to just see Trump give a speech and then bounce. The crypto community is very loyal. And I think that's why the Trump administration has been great at courting them and why the Republican Party has built a alliance with them in a way. Like, yeah, they both are really into deregulation and making money because capitalism. But there was a guy on stage during a panel with, I believe, some senators, and he mentioned that if you are good to the crypto community and you have done stuff for the crypto community, and especially the Bitcoin community, will be quite loyal to you. Now, I have no idea how long that loyalty extends. I would certainly say it's not as deeply connected as, say, like the Christian right with
Right.
the Republican Party or Trump, but uh, they are they are pretty loyal, and they do reward and celebrate people who have done great things for them in the crypto space.
Okay, so I'm just a top line from what JD Vance said. I'm looking at some reporting, and it says that he said that he doesn't think stable coins threaten the integrity of the US dollar. He thinks it will multiply the economic might. He said this genius act that would regulate stable coin is a good thing. It will regulate the digital asset. So it seems like he came to the crypto conference trying to build some confidence in stable coins and the regulation that come with them. But like it sounds like there's just like a lot of Republicans there, right? Like Republican senators. I saw Chris LaCivita, who used to work for President Trump as the campaign manager of his campaign. David Sachs, who's a member of his administration. The Winklevi, their new MAGA twins. It's just like, what was it like? It's like a CPAC in there. Like, what's the vibe? Is it just are there any Democrats?
There are no Democrats. Democrats do not want to like openly be in this space. Kirsten Gillibrand is definitely an exception to the rule, but right now in the Senate, the Genius Act is having a hard time. It's been having a hard time breaking through because the Democrats, particularly like Markey and Elizabeth Warren, have started raising this alarm about whether stablecoins can be properly regulated in a way that prevents corruption. The way that I've heard from the Democrat side is that stablecoins, yes, they are pegged one to one with the US dollar. They rise in value or fall in value. It's not based on hype. It's not based on, oh my God, there's like a new report about crypto out. Uh, but as it stands right now, I think you cannot like put a limit on who can create a stablecoin, or there's like a much lower like regulatory framework over who can create stablecoins. And the fear out of the progressive wing is what happens when, say, Meta decides to make its own stablecoin, but you have to buy the stablecoin in order to purchase any of Meta's services? What if Amazon did that and you had to buy like Jeff Bezos bucks in order to make a like, you know, watch something on Prime or buy a set of hangers for your
Yeah.
closet or something?
Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting.
yeah. On the other hand, the Republican argument, I would say and like Gillibrand's argument is that like, look, these stablecoins exist. We do have to regulate them in some form. And because like ultimately these are tokens that have a dollar value. And once that has a dollar value, you can't just let that like fly.
Yeah. Yeah. It holds it back. I mean, how do these cryptos bros feel about the swamp coming to Vegas?
It's a bit of a odd relationship, I think. On the one hand, like they're glad that they have allies in this in the policy and politics space now because those guys will advocate for a wider adoption of crypto, a strong and like a stronger acceptance to bring cryptocurrency into like the mainstream economy. At the same time, they are aware that when there is a big pile of money sitting there, banks will come after it, politicians will come after it. Someone will try to limit their access to what used to be a highly libertarian, deregulated, like unregulated area, but had a lot of buy-in from literally everyone who owns Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Yeah, it's like nobody wants to be regulated, right? Big tech, big pharma, none of them want to be regulated, and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of people who should be in the business of regulating on your turf in Vegas, right? So I'm
Mhm.
sure there's a bit of a push and pull between the relationship, right?
Oh, for sure. The big, like the concern that one attendee voiced to me was, yes, these guys are supporting us. Yes, businesses are supporting us as well, but they are trying, but like if the government has more Bitcoin and if the US uh, Federal Reserve has Bitcoin, they are able to influence what the price of Bitcoin could be. Uh, Not directly as of yet, because Bitcoin just is a very international form of currency. Uh, but you know, when the U.S. government holds something of value, everyone else in the world is like, "Oh my God, the U.S. is doing this with their monetary policy. We got to change our monetary policy
Right.
somehow." Uh, and he also noticed that there were more banks and finance experts and tax people at this
A lot more
conference.
suits, you might say, instead of sweatshirts
Oh,
and
this was the
hoodies.
first time. Oh yeah, this guy was like, this is the first time I've seen more suits at this conference than anything else.
You know, obviously Bitcoin was created to be completely independent from government, right? Like, and now you have the Coinbase chief policy officer announcing on Tuesday that cryptocurrency exchange will be the major sponsor of America 250. That's Trump's affiliated committee organizing the 250th birthday of the United States, which so happens to fall around his birthday. And this isn't Coinbase's first donation to the Trump committee. You know, they previously donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration committee. That's something that you pointed out. And you also reported that the SEC later dropped a lawsuit against Coinbase a month later after they made that donation. Sounds like they get how the swamp works.
They do. I think the tech community is now realizing that you can't just give money to Trump once. You cannot just give lawmakers money once. You do not buy their loyalty immediately. It is a constant relationship that you have to build over time and keep it consistent. Otherwise, if you forget them for some reason, they will just like turn around and in a normal world, like ignore you. In Trump world, they try to screw you.
Perhaps the best way to show your loyalty to Trump is to buy the Trump coin, right?
Buy the Trump coin, inflate the value of said coin. If that fail, yeah, you buy the coin, you inflate the value of the coin. Not only they're not getting the direct money from you, but their value starts going up. And isn't that's technically the growth of wealth? Uh,
Sounds like it's a
and
win for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Bitcoin too has notoriously been used in shady transactions. Uh, its first like widespread use case, other than a whole bunch of hobbyists like buying pizza with it in their basements, was when it was used as currency to purchase drugs and other uh, things on the Silk Road.
Great.
Incidentally, Trump, the founder of the Silk Road, Ross Ulbricht, was arrested and I think in charge with several crimes in the Biden administration, maybe Obama, in a previous Democratic administration. And then one of the first things that Trump did before he was president was pardon Ross Ulbricht because the Bitcoin community wanted him to.
Wow.
Very good for crypto.
Besties. Okay. Thanks, Tina. This was fascinating. I hope you have a great time at the conference. Call me. Let me know any other weird conversations you have. I'm sure there are tons of characters there and lots of stories to be told.
Oh, for sure. And I think I'll have a story up about it next week.
Great reporting. Thanks for listening to the Tara Palmeri Show. If you like this show, please follow it, share it with your friends, comment, like, subscribe. If you like my reporting, go to tarapalmeri.com where you can sign up for my newsletter, The Red Letter, where you can get all my exclusive reporting straight to your inbox. It's a way to support my independent journalism. I want to thank my producers, Eric Ebenate and Jane Fusco. I'll see you again soon.